Hey, it's Caroline, career and leadership coach. And today I want to talk to you about the impact a takeover can have on your career. Now, of course, there are different situations. And the reason why this is a topic I wanted to talk about is because one of my clients actually found herself in that situation. And there were three specific things that came up and some strategies that we put in place and that I wanted to share with you that you can put in place because there is a choice between being the victim, being very in an uncertain situation where you just go with emotions and you drift in the direction that people actually push you to, or there is like where you can step into your greatness and actually taking control over your career and take control over the areas and the situation you have control over. Like, of course, there are going to be things that are not in your control, but it's about realizing what is in your control and taking those components and really like embracing them. So there are a couple of things that you need to be keeping in mind that will happen. And the first is job security. Like when there is a takeover, a lot of people get very insecure. What is going to happen with my job? Is it going to be secure? Is the life I've built, the salary that I'm earning, is that still going to be in place? Are the responsibilities going to stay the same? Because basically with the takeover, like you might have a company that has quite equivalent kind of roles as the role that you're doing. So who are they going to pick? What's going to happen? So you have a lot of uncertainty about job security. Now, the thing that I always say is like you always have to have an exit strategy. That doesn't mean that you have to use it, but be able to put yourself in a situation that no matter what happens with the takeover, that you are prepared. And so don't wait till the writing is on the wall and that things are going to happen, but already like take the ball by the hand and just like, or the bull by the horn, and just make sure that you are putting in place all the things that need to be done. Like, for example, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, practicing your interview techniques. Make sure that that is already in order, so that no matter what happens to you, that you don't end up saying like, oh my god, now I have to start all over again. Pity me, poor me. It's like being able to take control over and taking the time to actually refine that is actually critical to feeling empowered. And it's all about feeling empowered and not being in a situation where you just have to go with the flow. Like you have control over certain areas and you can actually make decisions that involve you. So take that advantage to actually make those decisions. So make sure that all your material, your job search material, is where how it needs to be. So that's the first part, is the job security part. Then the second part is the company culture. The company culture for my client, for example, was going to change. And so you have a choice to make to actually be like very like fixed in your mindset. Like this is how we used to do things. It's like, okay, be curious. Things are going to change. Maybe not better or worse, but they are going to be different. Embrace it. And I know like when change, a lot of people that I work with are absolutely fine with change until it comes really close to home. Then it's like, whoa, my security, my viability is going to be is being threatened, and that's where people become defensive. So company culture with a takeover, whether it's immediate or whether it's long term, it's going to change. So you better make the decision like, okay, I'm going to have an open mindset. I'm going to embrace the changes and I'm going to see where this leads. And then you actually still can make a decision like whether it's for you or not, but you have your exit strategy ready. So the company culture always come, my advice is, and my recommendation is always come with a curious mindset, an open mindset, and observe. observe, observe, observe. Because with the takeover, you will have that a shift in culture, and like by observing what it is that what it is that they bring to the table, you're all going to open yourself up for that change, and you're going to be more receptive to that change, and then you can make a very clear decision if it's for you or not for you. The key here is, and I spoke to my client about this, is to emotionally detach yourself. Because she had been working a long time for the same company, she was really accustomed to all the company culture was so close to our heart. And so just the thought of a big corporate coming in and changing their culture in really black and white, just like got her got her upset and just really defensive. But it's about like, okay, let's actually detach the emotion. Let's observe, because it's not because it's a big corporate that is coming in that it's all evil and bad news for you. Just observe what's going on, and maybe there will be things that you will like, but don't go into a situation already saying like, oh my god, I'm going to resent it. Because I can promise you, if you go in with a mindset that you're going to resent it, that you're not going to like it, that is what's going to happen, because you are not going to be open and receptive to anything else coming in your reality. So it's very important for you to really make that shift. Thirdly and lastly, what I want to say is the company dynamics, the dynamics between your colleagues, between the senior management. So in her case, she had a middle management position, and so she was set up for a promotion, and suddenly the job security, she didn't know if that promotion was still going to happen. The culture was going to change, because a lot of a lot of colleagues of her were already talking about changing, and she was like, okay, I better jump ship too, because basically things are changing here. But that is not necessarily the best thing to do. So, in terms of the dynamics, they will be challenged, they will shift, but it's up to you to actually start really identifying the power shifts, the power dynamics, and look at it as a I told my clients, like, the best way to look at it is as a social experiment. Because if you look at it as a social experiment, you take away the emotion and you think, like, okay, let's observe what is happening here. And so it helps her to shift and reframe that into a social experiment. So, okay, she embraced the fact that it was a social experiment. And she looked at it like, okay, what dynamics are not now going to happen? Who is forming coalitions with who are going to bash heads? Because sometimes you are they think you're allied with your boss. Whether or not you are, it doesn't matter. And so basically, your boss is in opposition or in contrast with another executive or another senior leader. And so basically, by association, you're actually already like put in a certain category. So make sure that it's not about playing the politics. I heard from, I think Joe Miller mentioned it in her book. It's like becoming politically savvy. So it's not about playing the politics of that newly formed organization, but it's becoming politically savvy. So there's a difference of being an ostrich and putting your head in the sand and saying like, oh my God, poor me, things have changed, my company's taken over, I feel so insecure, I'm a victim, blah, blah, blah. Or actually looking at it as a social experiment and say like, actually, let me take a step back. What's really going on? Okay, maybe I'm not getting that promotion that I was promised and the salary increase. Maybe the culture is going to change, but let me understand first what the dynamics are. Let me understand the power struggles and the influencing map that is in play, so I can actually make an assessment of, okay, where can I just with who can I connect to, who can I form a partnership within the organization, but not coming from that emotionally charged and really that viewpoint of like, okay, that's offensive, like I'm going to enter this takeover with resistance, is going to just change your perception and open yourself up for exploring like new partnerships that you can form new like-minded people. Because if you are set like on your colleagues, and your colleagues are quite often colleagues, and definitely if the redundancies are already made, colleagues, the culture is changing, colleagues can be very negative, and it's about really making sure that you separate yourself from that, that you are not getting sucked into that energy, because that negative energy is going to really affect you. So you need to protect yourself from that negativity. And it's easy said, but it's not simple, or it's simply said, it's not that easy process. It takes time and reflection to actually make sure that you protect yourself and you're not getting triggered. And so that is the key word, getting triggered by everyday influences or attacks that you might perceive. And it's not getting triggered, just observing. Okay, that's interesting. That's fascinating. Okay, how do people respond to any of this? And actually taking a step back. So the three things that I really would urge you to actually look after is, like, first of all, do your job security. It's make sure that you have your ducks in a row, that no matter what happens, that you are ready to hit apply or hit go whenever you need to move quickly. If you need help with your resume, your LinkedIn profile, or anything else, or interview training, I'm here to help. Reach out to me, direct message me on LinkedIn. More than happy to have a chat with you on your individual situation. Then the second thing is, make sure that you actually observe the new culture. There is going to be a new culture. Make sure you observe it, and that you actually, like, understand what that culture means to you and how aligned that is to your values, instead of keep on bashing your head against the brick wall. Become aware of it and what that entails. And lastly is the dynamics. The dynamics will shift, will change, and that is okay. Again, be the observer and make sure that you use this opportunity and use this as an opportunity. If you always had a personal brand or leadership brand, like I like to call it, of being the doer, being the fixer, and you say, like, actually, I'm fed up. This is not a personal brand that has worked for me in the past. This is a brilliant time to reinvent yourself and to actually shift that personal brand. So if you need help with really understanding how to navigate the politics or reinventing your personal brand, I'm here to help. Again, reach out to me through direct messages on LinkedIn, or however you want to connect with me, on Facebook, or anywhere, or write me an email to actually, like, talk how I can help and assist you, because it's very critical that you are empowered in this process to understand that you don't have to go with emotions and go left, right, and center where they push you to go, that you can take control and take control of your career and be intentional about the steps that you're going to take now. I hope this helped, and I hope these insights were as useful as they were for my clients. And I hope you can actually start implementing some strategies. If you need help, reach out. More than happy to jump on a call to actually see how I can help you. And let's take it from there. Thank you so much, and see you later. Bye.